Council for Monday, April 24th, 2023. I now call this meeting to order at 6:30. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Claudia Rona.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Elizabeth Arona.
Here.
Mayor Infante.
Here.
Thank you.
Mr. Brown, if you'd lead us in the pledge, please. Delighted to. Gentlemen, please remove your cap, face the flag, and say with me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Okay, a couple of words. Start off with. As you can tell, we've got a lot of people in here, and we have a lot of requests to speak. So 2 or 3 things are going to happen this evening. First, I don't want applause, I don't want cheers, and I don't want rude noises. If someone comes up here to speak their mind, please honor their position, whether you agree with it or not. If you cannot do that, I'll kick you out of the room. All right? No applause, please. Second, normally we allow 3 minutes for presentations, but we have too many people. We have 40, 50 speakers. So I'm going to limit it to 2 minutes, and I'm going to be pretty intent on stopping you at 2 minutes when that red light goes off. Okay? Up on the podium. You'll see the red light in front of you when it gets going. I'm also going to ask that we change the agenda a little bit. But first, we have no proclamations. We're going to change this. We'll move that down. Okay. What I would like to do first is have the general comments and consent items.
You're going to change the order of agenda?
We're going to change the order. My apologies. After we'll do general comments, then we're going to go to item 6A, which most people are here to talk about. So we'll get that done, then we'll go back to the agenda as originally planned, and we'll continue on through the evening. Okay?
Do we need a motion for that, Mr. Mayor?
That's a good question, do we? Where's our legal people?
Change the order of the agenda.
Okay. Let's put it this way. Does everybody agree? Does anybody disagree?
No.
I'm fine.
Then we're good. We'll change that, please.
Okay.
All right. We'll go through the consent items, the general comments and consent items first, and then we will go to item 6A. So let's talk. I have a speaker slip here for Denise El-Amin.
So just to confirm, this is item 1, right? Public communication, non-agenda, and consent items?
Yes, and I apologize. We should be introducing that. So this is presentations for material that is not on any agenda item or is part of the consent items. All right?
So
Ms. El-Amin.
it's part of the consent item is when I can talk, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is part of the consent item 4D, okay? This is regarding our waste plant. The current plant was completed in 1997 with an estimated lifespan of 30 to 40 years. We are not experiencing any failing infrastructure. We completed major electrical and mechanical upgrades in 2021, extending the lifespan of a majority of the WWTP. The only concerns regarding compliance are 2 constituents, sodium, which is salt, and chloride levels. Neither is a cause of infrastructure damage or concern of plant failure. The city had attempted to mitigate these constituents in the past with a ban on commercial water softeners and rebates for residential water softeners, and was still unable to meet the levels. So, back in 2022, which was exactly, tomorrow will be 1 year, Solvang, this is a report. Solvang will invest another $10 million into water waste treatment plant, including tooling that could support future wastewater recycling after the council voted unanimously on Monday to support the least expensive of the 4 potential options. Per Robert Clark, I'd rather do the minimum until we're forced. I like phase 2, and it's a step in the right direction. I do not want to go into debt. I don't want to just feel good about using non-potable water from a recyclable source just because it makes me feel good. That's Councilman Robert Clark, who lost the election, who was appointed by Mayor Afonte. Before us now,
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Dr. Cynthia Matthews?
Hello, everybody. Dr. Cynthia Matthews here. The reason I am coming up for the discussion one about the how you can go ahead and advertise for Solvang. One of the cheapest and most inexpensive ways to doing it is what I did. I met a lady when I was having some wine. She happened to write travel blogs. So I took her in my vehicle around to many of the businesses. And yes, I took her to Maverick, and we had a couple of dances. But she was able to take photos and show the welcomingness of Solvang. So I would encourage a lot of people, when you're having conversations, finding out, but those people hit TikTok. Those people hit all sorts of different avenues, and it's cheap. It doesn't cost Solvang a thing. So that's just my recommendation.
Thank you very much. Caroline Abbott? Did I get that wrong?
Can I ask you a quick question? Have you closed the public comment applications, because there's none out here?
They're in here.
Thank you.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. When we are faced with ideas with which we disagree, first of all, we must always be civil and respectful in our speech and interactions. Everyone wants to be treated with kindness. Remember, we are each individuals and each responsible for monitoring our own behavior. Though, even more importantly, always remember, as we are unique individuals, because we are made in the image and likeness of God. Think of that, how beautiful it is to be made in the image and likeness of God. What does that mean? To be made in God's image means that each person has a soul and each person has a conscience. So we know exactly when we are doing something right or we are doing something or saying something we should not be doing. Being made in the image of God is also a big responsibility because we must always live every moment and every aspect of our lives in the dignity and purpose that God has designed in His plan for each one of us. That is not always easy to do, but we have to try. For example, though we may strongly disagree with the ideas and intentions of another person, we must disagree in the most polite, dignified, and respectful manner possible. So in conclusion, thank you to those Solvang City Council members trying to keep Solvang a family and child-friendly city, free to enjoy all of the interesting history and unique features of the city of Solvang. And a special member to Councilmember Robert Clark for his efforts to achieve that
Thank you very
goal.
much.
Thank you so much.
Joanne Clark?
Oh, sorry.
I recently came before the council to ask for fiscal responsibility. I asked you to consider a city policy to not allow special interest parades. I cited that the city funds should not be given to private organizations or special interest groups to support their activities. City funds, taxpayer dollars, and city resources, such as man-hours or city property for advertising, should not be spent on special interests. I noted that if we say yes to one group, we will be required to say yes to all and be a target for claims of unfair bias if we say no. Recent events have proven this to be true. This is what happens when Solvang leadership succumbs to what are decidedly legitimate, heartfelt concerns for people's feelings, where special interests are concerned. However, Solvang City Streets should not be a billboard for promoting special interests, especially when they involve moral, controversial, or political issues, no matter how much we have a heart for the special interest concerns. I'm a right to life advocate. I could cite statistics of suicide and mental and emotional trauma for those who were ill-advised about abortion, a very heartfelt issue. However, I'm not requesting a right to life parade or any advertisement for any right to life activity in October when Right to Life is celebrated. Again, Solvang is not supposed to be a billboard for moral, political, or controversial issues. People come to Solvang to experience a unique Danish community. They come to relax, shop, dine, and get away from their everyday world. They do not come to see moral, political, and controversial issues advertised on our streets. They have enough of that at home. I will.
Thank you very much. Carrie McKinnon?
Hi, council members. My name is Carrie McKinnon. I'm a Solvang resident for more than 20 years. And I am here, I'm really sorry that I'm here, but I'm here to dress you down. It is humiliating that the mayor of Copenhagen has to write a letter.
Excuse me. That's item 6A, and that's not what this is about.
I am here to ask you all to be civil, to be the kind of council members that listen to people, that compromise. The art of government is compromising and listening.
Thank you very much, Carrie. But that
You are
is not
interrupting
this
me.
general, this
You are
is-
shutting me down.
I am. You go ahead. Get in line, Carrie. This is for that's a discussion for item
No,
6A.
I'm here to tell you that you are embarrassing. That's all. That's all.
I am embarrassing, that's obvious. Maria?
Hi. You can let me know if I'm wrong. My name is Maria, and I have been a resident of the San Ynez Valley for around 17 years. Speaking this evening is very hard for me because, although I can be very outgoing, I am a deeply private individual. I feel it's important to speak tonight to address a few council and community members who have expressed that they have not seen or felt intolerance in our community. I hid from myself, my family, and my community the extent of who I am out of childhood shame that taught me I was undeserving, disgusting, and just other simply because I am gay. About the same time I moved here, I was hospitalized for suicidal
Maria?
idealizations.
That's item 6A.
This is
If you'd
about my
like to
experience in the valley, not about the
This
banners,
is-
because I don't
well-
care about the banners. This was brought up a few weeks ago, actually in a meeting, and it's a general comment. I'm not addressing the banners at all in here, or any of the agenda items.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. About the same time that I moved here, I was hospitalized for suicidal idealizations. I felt I did not deserve life or love, and suicide was the only obvious answer. Had I not had the support and love of my family, I would not be here today. It took me another 5 years from that point to accept myself, and still another 5 years after that, to believe I am just as deserving of love as anyone else. I did not come out in our community for almost 10 years for fear of the exact response that Kyle Cavalli is being given today. I owned a local children's consignment store for 8 years, and ironically, the Cavallis bought it. I never accepted myself or the love I deserved for fear of ever being labeled a pedophile or groomer, because I feared people couldn't separate being gay from being a pedophile. Today, I know that living authentically and proud of who I am is so much more important than I ever knew. Marianne Williamson has a beautiful quote that says, "As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same." So I am proud of who I am, and I'm proud of the family I've created. I am proud to be able to stand up today with all the love and support I accept, so that others who are still scared can hopefully find their own permission to do the same.
Thank you very much. All right, that is the end of the in process. Oh, I have another. Yes, ma'am, would you like to address us
I had submitted one
for the general comments?
yes.
We lost Anna Marie.
I gave it to her when I first walked in.
Well, that's all right. Go ahead, come on up and please introduce yourself and make your
I'll introduce
comment.
myself, and I'll give someone else my chair. How's that?
All right.
I'll keep it brief. My name's Denise Spengler Adams. I'm from Santa Barbara County. The last 43 years I've lived here. I came today, I drove up from Montecito. My community of 8,800 contributes over $10 billion to the county. I was very concerned when I read that our sheriff's department would not be providing protective services to elected officials or to individuals. The reason for my concern is because I go to a lot of public meetings in the last 43 years, and we've had incidences where the sheriff department has not shown up. We organized an effort today to call the sheriff because after reading that article, it's very important whenever you have community people at meetings that we have protection. People will not come if they fear for their safety. I had 11 texts today that people would not come to your meeting because they had read that there would not be protection. We pay, and again, I just want to underscore that as members of the county, me for 43 years and all of you probably even longer, we pay, and I want services for all of you and your hired staff, protection to be provided, because not only will people not come, but they are very insecure, and that message rang loud and clear today with Montecito. And perhaps it's time for Goleta and Solvang and other areas to consider creating your own police force that's responsible to your mayor and to all of you, because it's very disheartening and concerning to me what happened on February 14th, 2019 in Goleta, where a quadriplegic was surrounded and the sheriff was given stand-down orders and a man's safety was jeopardized. And when I read the article at 6 a.m. this morning, I could tell you what I did the rest of the day. Your safety and your service is very important to all of us in the county.
Thank you very
for
much.
serving.
Thank you.
And someone can have my seat. Thank you.
Do we have anybody on Zoom that wants to talk, Brad?
Well, if they're on Zoom, they're not going to submit a paper.
He didn't unmute themselves. Okay, so we have nobody on Zoom. In that case, we'll take it back to the council. All right. Now, normally at this point, we would go into city manager report and advance calendar and things, but we have changed the agenda to bring up item 6A. 6A,
Mayor?
would you read that for us?